The British Gas Swim Britain Challenge is a great way to get the whole nation involved, be more healthy, be more active.
It's a giant relay race. We need teams of 4, so hopefully lots of people can get involved. Swim Britain are providing training sessions. This will encourage people to see the benefits of improvements.
Swim Britain will really help me break away from my busy schedule, just get away from everything.
That element of teamwork and training and a group is great fun. You know, anyone can swim, no matter what your kind of fitness or sporting background.
That's what's brilliant about this, is that it is a team event. It just makes it so much more fun. You can all cheer each other, support each other on.
I want to take part in Swim Britain because I want to get fitter, lose some weight and make a permanent change to my exercise routine.
So make sure you sign up to this amazing challenge. You never know, I could be on your team.
Take a drink at the ocean and treading water there before I drown. Let's dive, I wanna dive to the bottom of the ocean. I took a ride, I wouldn't go there without you. Let's take a ride, we'll take a ride, I wouldn't leave here without you. I am a mountain, I am the sea. You can't take that away from me. I am a mountain, I am the sea. You can't take that away from me. 'Cause you tear us apart with all the things you don't like. You can't understand that I won't leave till we're finished here. And then you'll find
I'm Catherine Granger and I'm a champion in my life, and I back the bid for Glasgow to host the 2018 Youth Olympic Games.
Hi, I'm Robbie Rennick. I'm Commonwealth champion. I'm supporting Glasgow's bid for the 2018 Youth Olympic Games.
I'm Michael Jameson, I'm a champion in my life and I support Glasgow's bid to host the Youth Olympic Games in 2018.
Hi, I'm Neil Fahy, I'm a Paralympic champion and I'm a champion in my life and I'm backing Glasgow 2018.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and I'm a champion in my lifetime and I'm supporting the Glasgow 2018 Youth Olympic bid.
I am the sea.
Good evening and welcome to the final session of Day 2 at the Tollcross International Swim Centre, and welcome to Quip UTV's live coverage of the Scottish National Open Championships. Day 2, we have 7 grand finals to present to you. We had some great racing in the morning, some close races in the afternoon, and it's a welcome to all of you to this particular championships, a historic moment for Scottish swimming. I'm Drew Gordon and with me is Ali White, the Director of Performance, and we'll be trying to give you the best kind of insight and comment we can for the second day of finals. The 4 days of championships, and they're all being streamed live out on the Scottish Swimming YouTube channel. Do join us, and you can tweet in with your comments. We've enjoyed some of those. The hashtag SGN13Live, that's SGN13Live, is your access point, and you can get the streaming. Tell your friends at Scott Swim Live. The events this evening: 200 IM, women's 400 free, the men's 100 back and the women's 200 backstroke, men's 200 fly. Then we have the women's 50 freestyle, men's 50 breaststroke, and the top heat of the women's 800 free, and then a men's 4x200 relay just to cap it all off. So we're looking forward to the usual snappy races, because some of the heats and some of the swims were just a little bit, you know, quiet and controlled and calmed, and we hope that they can lift themselves for this evening's session. The titles are at stake, the medals are at stake, and of course good long course times on offer here at this wonderful Tollcross facility. The format, the process is the A final and the B final. And then of course there's multi-category finals in here as well, and some presentations. On offer of course is the National Championship title, and also the Scottish Junior title in these championships. So the officials are looking good. The blue of Scotland against the white of this building is just a magnificent symbol for Scottish swimming. I'm sure that's not by accident, and a wonderful setting for the finals. The spotlights are on, a little bit more of a crowd, but it's just so hard in this huge facility, this well refurbished facility in Glasgow, to get a big atmosphere. But of course a year from now it's going to be totally different with this Commonwealth Games coming here to Glasgow, and the swimming of course into Tollcross in particular. So day 2, session 6. After this we've reached the halfway point, and of course as you come from the heavy training programs and you're looking forward to both future events like the World Championship trials and European Juniors and all that kind of programming, it's still the fact that as the summer rests a little bit, they start to get stronger and a little faster swim. So tomorrow and Sunday will, I think, be even more spectacular. But the swimmers giving their best here in the long course facility, and many of them enjoying a return to Tollcross. So the general thoughts, Ali, after the first couple of days?
Well, certainly things picked up quite a lot this morning. Looking forward to some great racing tonight. 200 IM first up should be quite interesting, with Hannah Miley going in lane 4, and I think it really will be about who can get closest to her at that point. But don't discount Emily Jones, a strong 100 fly yesterday, 61 to win the event, coming back strong at the back end of the race. So there could be a challenge coming in from there. And then later on in the events as well, the women's 100 breaststroke. I think that'll be particularly close. 3 or 4 girls really challenging for the victory there. But overall, I think good steps towards the British Trials in a couple of weeks' time. It'll be very interesting how people move on from this meet.
Do you feel heartened by the state of health a year out from the Commonwealth Games?
I think it's quite hard to say, to be honest with you. If you ask me at the end of the season, I might have a better idea, because clearly the competition around the Commonwealth at the moment is particularly strong in certain areas. The Australians seem to have a very, very strong trials coming back from what they regarded was a poor Olympics. Yes, winning 8 odd medals out of that. That was a poor Olympics for them. But clearly their trials have moved on a little bit in the trials there. Likewise, the Canadians are looking pretty strong, and the South Africans at that point. The Olympics had a tremendous Olympics with Chad Leclos and Cameron Vandenberg, obviously been right up there with the gold medal winning performances. So we're not underestimating the challenge in Glasgow. I think anybody who's got the chance to come down and watch some fantastic racing, fantastic competition, I think the Commonwealth Games is going to be super quick, super competitive, and I think we've got some good kids coming through, and obviously the ones that have already established themselves. They're also, I think we'll have a strong team going into Glasgow.
That's good, and I know that obviously with Glasgow Life building and developing their facilities along with the national governing bodies and Sports Scotland and the institutes, it's Scotland doing a grand job of backing up those very, very high expectation levels and ambitions to hold top events here in Scotland, and in this case Glasgow. So it's nice to see the country pulling together, and you mentioned in the afternoon the regional development of facilities, and that it can only be good for the sport. But we put the caveat on it and said provided access and entry can be guaranteed.
Yep, and access is one thing, but coaching and swimmers are very much the top of the agenda. So without coaches and swimmers, then we don't have good talent coming through, and I think that's the key thing. We can put everything else in place, but we've got to make sure that we have everything else.
Well, all the day 2 heats are complete. The thinking, the talking and the preparation complete. We now turn to the business of winning a final or a medal. The women's 200 metres individual medley. Rachel Masson comes into lane 0, the 18-year-old from South Aberdeen. Sally Wood warned her, a 23-year-old. Raquel Matosh from East Lothian having a great first day in the meet. Lane 3, Rachel O'Donnell from Carnegie. Lane 4, Scotland's great Hannah Miley from Geary, the 24-year-old in pole position. Emily Jones, the main challenger, also from Aberdeen. Alice Tennant, Swansea University in lane 6. 7 is Orla Adams from Geary, 2 in the final for that club. Laura Dawson of Newburn and Kirsten McKinley, City of Glasgow, makes a home representative, always adds to the excitement of a final. 200 IM, Hannah Miley, not the most powerful of starters, being that just a little bit smaller than some of the big athletes, but this is her event. So a very early break in lane 0 by Rachel Masson. The others using the underwater action to some good effect, Ali.
Absolutely, Rachel taking it out there, but I think this is the main leg of the race where people can really start to challenge Hannah. If there's not a good enough gain made, then it really leaves Hannah there to pick them up in the back and the breaststroke parts of the race.
Well, the 29-2 split goes to Raquel Matosh, and that 29-2 is quite quick at this stage. The backstroke leg, well, a couple of years ago, we saw Hannah work on her backstroke, and look at the tempo there in lane 4. Really, absolutely rock steady head, good rotation, nice high tempo. Matosh overtaken, Miley in front at the halfway mark, going through in 63.61. Tight for second place, 3 swimmers across the pool. The breaststroke leg might be the key leg here for some as they chase Miley down this 50 metres of breaststroke.
Yep, Emily Jones, a strong breaststroker also, but the breaststroke's one of the things that Hannah's really picked up with over the last couple of years, and it's probably one of the strongest parts of her racing now.
It's compact, you can see the hips nice and high, good drive off the legs, and for 50, that holds up very, very well. Second place then going to Emily Jones, as you predicted, Ali, but on this occasion, Miley just stamping her authority and her experience on the race. 25 to go. Jones finishing hard. Good challenge in lane 6 coming from Alice Tennant, really strong, but Jones in second place. The gold, silver and bronze allocated very comfortably. In terms of viewing, it's a 2:13.05 at the finish. Hannah adding another title to her long list of achievements. The second place swim, 2:16.45. The results are posted officially, and the 2:17.88 Alice Tennant takes the bronze medal. So 2:13.05, 2:16.4 and a 2:17.8 are the 1, 2 and 3 times from the first A final of day 2. Well, the live streaming is absolutely live. Just had a little incident there, and the producer offers his apologies as a swimmer ran into the cameraman. So, you know, it's live sport, folks. It's all going to happen. Clearing the pool as the B finalists get ready. And just quickly list them for you. McClellan, Dumfries, Armstrong, Best, Gillian Clark in from East Lothian, Sarah Hamilton, South Aberdeen in 3, and it's Kathleen Dawson, the junior from Warrington, that lines up in lane 4. Sharples in 5, Tane Bruce 6, Leanna Marshall, North Lanark 7, Eastham 8, Emily Grant, Coaster in 9. And they are off in the B final. In here we have 4 juniors all battling for the junior title.
And I think this will be quite a tight race when it comes to the end. Looking at Gillian Clark probably taking it out on the fly, and Kathleen Dawson then probably coming a little bit more through in the backstroke, her speciality event.
Well, the touch going to Sharples, Ali 29.23, Clark in there at 30.5. So Rachel Sharples, East Lothian, a good first 50. All of these in the 2:27, 2:28. When you look at the pool now, you can't think they're all doing the same time.
The beauty of the medley, I think, Drew, with people's different strengths and weaknesses become apparent as you go through. I think the important thing is to maximise your strengths, and obviously you've got to try and make sure that you're not giving away too much on your weaknesses or your weaker stroke.
Well, the breaststroker starting to pile up. Looks as though it's going to be crowded at the end of this 50. It's a back half swim for some. Only Sharon McClelland in lane 0 adrift from the race as the breaststrokers start to move up on the early leader, Rachel Sharples, and Kathleen Dawson at the halfway mark, who took the touch. She's under pressure. Sharples coming back in lane 5. In lane 6 and lane 7, you've got Tane Bruce and Leanna Marshall moving up into position 2. 4 swimmers on the turn.
Look out for young Tane Bruce on this leg. She seems to have got the bit between her teeth, but Sharples still battling away up front with Kathleen Dawson.
Dawson with every stroke cutting it down, but with only 50 metres to go, maybe she's running out of pool. It's a stroke finish. It's going to be all about the hunger. It's a hard kicking action from Dawson, stroke for stroke. It's an electronic split. 2:23.86 to 2:23.88. 2 100s between the first and second. You could not have done that by the naked eye. You need the electronic. Great racing, ladies. Well done. Dawson takes it with 200s to Sharples. Tane Bruce, strong finish, 2:24.88 for third place. And I think that makes Dawson the junior title holder.
I think you'd be absolutely correct there. That touch finish there just did the job for her.
Superb. Crowd enjoying that. A B final, and you can just see they were absolutely ready to race there. 2:23. Remember, 2:26s, 2:27s from the heats, and you know, making into the B final. And that 2:23 sits well alongside some of the A final times.
Well, it does, but I think there's for somebody like Kathleen Dawson, still a junior, important to be working on all 4 of her strokes. But clearly backstrokes are her main one. That's what she's going to the European Junior Championships. It's what she's been selected for. But still enjoying the racing here as part of her progression towards that meet.
Yeah, we try to maximise the moment, because that's what you have to live for, those moments of success and enjoyment and the performance, and yet you have to remember that you are moving on. There's other higher targets, and it's only a stepping stone. So the A finalists have the B final, and here we have John Mason, the board member for Scottish Swimming. This is the Milk Marketing Trophy, and Alice Tennant receiving her bronze medal. Emily Jones was clear in second place, and Hannah Miley always ready to accept another gold medal into the collection. And a real moment for the juniors, of course, trying hard, and there Dawson stepping up for the junior title, Scottish Junior Champion in 2013. Get that on the CV. So nice and slick this evening. I'm sure some of the lessons from last night, one of the things we've noticed about the pool is just that lack of a ready room in the right place, but the starting end will be different for the Commonwealth Games, and I'm sure that all that will be thought about. We move inexorably towards the men's 400 freestyle final. Always enjoy the 400 personally, because it's just that mix of speed and endurance, and it's a real challenge to an athlete, to a swimmer, just to get that balance right, and to make sure that you're racing. And that, you know, tremendous demand on the body and the mind in as long as 3.5 to 4 minutes of swimming. We should see these guys get into the sub 4 minutes. That's the first main target, even under heavy training. And of course their target is Robbie Rennick, City of Glasgow, although Milne fastest from the heats in 3:57. Angus Barr in 0, Tom Howley in 1, Cameron Smith in 2, Martin Kremen, the 1500 victor for Stirling, in 3, Stephen Milne, the young Perth talent, in 4, Robbie Rennick, the 25-year-old, in 5, Josh Walsh of the Stirling University in 6, McIntosh of City of Aberdeen in 7, Chris Lowther of Dumfries makes it into the final with a 4:08 in lane 8, and Stephen Gibb, the only junior in the field from Dundee City Aquatics. So Martin Kremen coming from the 1500 down to the 400, and a completely different approach in the heats this morning. A really positive swim. Stephen Milne getting a challenge at Robbie Rennick in this Nationals. Well, Olympic, European level swimming in the water at the moment, and it's a great positive start by 4 men at the front of this 400. The danger, of course, in the excitement of the meet, going out that little bit too hard, but we'll see some very strong swims here. They look good in the heats, and it's building up to a very nice final.
And Stephen Milne going out there with Robbie Rennick. Pretty close over this first 100, but Robbie looking in pretty good shape. Lovely and smooth in the water. And Stephen just above him. A little bit erratic on the stroke, but he's nicely balanced with his breathing.
This is Stephen.
And Robbie there out in the first 100 in 55.24 and looking really controlled on it as well, I have to say.
The battle in 6 and 7 between Josh Walsh and Stuart McIntosh, and on the other side of the pool in lane 3, Martin Kremen losing a little bit of touch with the race, the distance man, seeing the sprinters really go out for it. Rennick lovely off the wall, 10 metres off the wall. Beautiful leg kick, really easy balance. Some would say the tempo is maybe a little bit too slow, but it gives him a chance to work that wonderful touch he has on the water. As you say, Ali, Stephen Milne a bit erratic, not really in a settled rhythm on his swim. And we see lane 6, Josh Walsh move up onto Milne's shoulder just at the 200. 153.45 the split.
Well, that's a pretty good opening 200 for Robbie. Nice and strong, but he's looking as though he's trying to press the third 100. And as I said at the start of the race, I thought he looked pretty controlled. So it will be interesting to see if he can build off of that good first 200.
Yes. I mean, the thing about Rennick is that he's gone out so fast that there's nobody with him. There's nobody to push him. Not that he would have expected that. So you've got to understand the mentality of being in a position like this. The fact that you're on your own and you have to create your own competition and motivation against the swim, against your record, against your training, and know the context of where you are, and it's some kind of test for you to see exactly where you will come at the end of this Nationals final. I mean, it is a championship final, going through in 2:52.3.
Well, he's looking to be peppering around the 350 marker. I'm sure he'd love to get under 350 here. As you say, he's out there on his own. He'll have his own goals though, but there's nobody racing against him, and it's very much him against the clock at the moment.
The rest of the race is gone on the arrowhead formation of the seeding for the final. The battle for the silver medal between Milne and, of course, Josh.
And he is really picking it up down this last 50. He's just picked his stroke rate up there, so that long stroke you were talking about, he's just started to crank it. And look at the leg kick now.
Looking like a 200 summer coming home. Excellent. 50 metres. Robbie Rennick, this is a classy swim. Remember, he's preparing for the World Championships at the end of June, but he wants to test his racing skills. You've got to applaud that. 3:49.84. Really cracking swim. The silver, well, it was Milne who had the hunger, and Josh Walsh couldn't match that extra 100 speed on the last leg of the 400. The last two summers coming home. 3:49.84. That's a signal, and that should be a bright signal, not only for British swimming, but Rennick in particular. Milne with the silver, 3:56. Close finish in terms of time, 3:57.82, but the distance between Milne and Walsh is absolutely obvious visually. Good swimming from Rennick in the A final.
And it looked like Stephen Gibb there with a 4:07, a nice little drop into the final. I think that looks as though Stephen Gibb would pick up the junior title there, and I think that's a lovely swim from the swimmer from Dundee City Aquatics. Really positive, I think he was, and controlled really hard down the last 50. It looked as though he'd paced that nicely.
Good, and a wonderful experience to be in a swim like that, in a final like that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think kids all over the country would love to swim in the same race as the likes of Robbie Rennick, so fantastic experience.
We know that coaches and team managers can record the swims, but with the live streaming, it's another dimension.
Absolutely.
Different view of the race with all the camera action. That's the advantage of what's happening here with Scottish swimming. The B final, Anthony Ryan of Dumfries, lane 0. Mark Deans in 1 for Glasgow. Adam Hollow's Derwent side in 2. Felix Gifford of City of Aberdeen in 3. Ewan Murgatroyd of Dumfries, the 16-year-old, a 4:10.15 from the heats, puts him in 4. Solomon Butt, the junior from Aberdeen, in 5. Donny Price from South Main, 6. Jack McComish, South Lanark, in 7. Ross Gale in lane 8 for Ren 96. David McGregor from Dumfries, 15 years of age, making the B final on the men's 400. That's a great achievement in itself.
And there's Felix Gifford. We were talking about Felix earlier on, how he likes to go out nice and quick, but I think this time he might be just looking for 100 time. I'm not quite sure. Nope, but he said he was out in 25 point in the first 50, 54.7 I think. There you go, 54.7 on the turn. Looking as though he was just going for 100 and is now starting to paddle.
And that splits opinion, that kind of strategy, doesn't it?
There's those out there that don't think that's the right thing to do. If you're going to get in there and swim the 400 freestyle, swim the 400 freestyle. Don't swim the 100.
Yeah, got to respect your opponents and respect the competition organisers, and I think there's a lot to debate on that one.
And others that maybe missed out on the swim of actually getting in and swimming a second 400 freestyle.
That's a great point, Ali. Thank you. Solomon Butt then, 16-year-old in lane 5, is going to find himself a little bit like Robbie Rennick. Solomon Butt swam 4:11.96.
I think his best is around 4:02, so I think he had a big enough drop to go there. Although he looks as though he's just a wee bit tired in this race.
I was
going
to say
flowing as well as we would have expected him to be.
I was going to say coasting, but he's actually from Aberdeen, not coast.
That's correct.
Sorry for the pun. 2 minutes flat on the split then. So yeah, it's not going to be a 4:02 unless he decides to waken up. Solomon Butt in second place, a good battle. Lane 6, Donny Price. Lane 4, wakened up, Ewan Murgatroyd. Way back there. Is it shame or is it an understanding from the crowd with Felix Gifford paddling home in this 400, well behind the field? But the gap closing on Solomon Butt, the 16-year-old. Nice and easy, beautiful, long, rangy stroke. Very big, powerful 16-year-old, and working very hard and moving up into second place. Adam Hollows of Derwent side over there in lane 2 has moved into third, and he's challenging for second place in this B final. Butt turns for the last time, 3:04.9. So 64 on the last 100. Unless he responds to a challenge, say, from Donny Price in 6, we're going to see Butt just bringing it home nice and steady. And of course, for the time for Felix Gifford to stand, he's got to complete the distance. Closing in on Butt. Is he going to have a little bit of a race? Toying with this B final a little bit, out in good pace, and then suddenly wakens up. Yeah, a little grandstand finish from the Aberdonian, just not wanting to lose this. Price made the effort on the 50 up the way, but he's under threat now as he tires in 4. Ewan Murgatroyd finishing hard. Adam Hollows still in 2, working very hard, but big splashes on the entry, showing lack of muscular control on the technique as Butt reaches in 4:08.58. We thought it was going to be a class swim, but decided to relax through the middle of that race. And I wonder what kind of reception will meet Felix Gifford. Everyone in the pool with that little bit of knowledge will know exactly what he did. He swam for the 100 time, but he has to complete the 400 race for the time to stand. And well, a little bit of showboating at the end with 5 or 6 quick strokes. We're not sure about that, folks. You make up your own mind. Indeed. Results of the B final: 4:08, 4:10.5 to Hollows, and Murgatroyd 4:10.62 from lane 4. We await the presentation, as do the athletes, for the men's 400 freestyle. And it's the Edinburgh Police Trophy for this particular swim. The history of swimming and the trophies available to us. The Norway plate for the junior. And we can see, ready for presentation, we've got on the list David Carey, the newest board member, but in fact it's Ian Mason heading up world-class swimming. Ian away back, and he's their PE man to start with, then a very active coach. He and I had a Scottish junior squad away in the 80s, and a very successful squad. Ian went through the education process, now retired from that and in the world-class position, as we see Josh Walsh take the bronze, Stephen Milne the silver, and a really nice posting by Robbie Rennick on that 3:49 point. The junior champion taking his medal, Stephen Gibb of Dundee City. A nice little medal for that swimming squad. So that presentation over. We move on to the women's 100 breaststroke, and here we will have a multi-category final with 4 swimmers in the 100 meters. They're ready over there. They're just as excited and anxious about their final. Carnegie, Delting, Perth City and Motherwell will be the clubs that are represented. And here come the athletes on to the poolside. So 4 swimmers. Lara Ferguson in lane 3 for Carnegie, 33 years of age, 1:31 from the heats. Erid Davis from Delting, 12 years of age. Regan Doig, 15 years of age from Perth City. Amy McFarlane, the 20-year-old from Motherwell, with a 1:54 from the heats. For Summers then, 100 breaststroke to set this breaststroke off and running. Oh, little shake on the block in lane 4.
Like a wee bit of a roll.
Little
there,
movement there, but well, I wonder if they'll do anything about that. It wasn't an early start, but it was a movement when you're supposed to be motionless. Let's hope it's not a sad moment for Erid. Yeah, a good little race here. Remember, multi-category swim. Lara, Erid, Regan and Amy in there to do battle. What a good little race it is. 100 breaststroke up the first 50. Looking now to judge the moment to go for the pads.
And it's young Erid Davis there, just touching in first place. But I think it's going to be knowing Regan Doig, she doesn't like to get beaten. So I think she'll be challenging all the way down the second 50 and might fancy actually nicking in and really putting in a good strong swim as well.
So lane 5 in the lead by a fraction, and lane 4 the fast revving Erid Davis. But now both stroke for stroke. They've lost Lara Ferguson in lane 3. They're going, look at this, it's synchronized breaststroke almost, as Erid Davis fights from lane 4. The smaller swimmer driving into the wall. Who's on stroke? A nice stretch for the wall, and the first place 1:27.8 to 1:28.04. Now we've got to go back to the beginning as we wait, and we encourage a finish from Amy McFarlane, the 20-year-old from Motherwell. 1:54.3. The clock ticks on into the red. Come on, Amy, get in there. 1:54 from the heat. Has it been a long and tiring day? 1:56.4. So you take the 1:54 away from you.
And it looks like on the records there that Regan Doig has set a new Scottish B14 record.
B14 the category, the time 1:28.4, a new record to Regan Doig. Congratulations to her. The race won 1:27.8, of course, by Erid Davis from lane 4. And as those multi-category swimmers quietly leave the pool and open the way for the women's 100-meter breaststroke A final. That's the next event up, folks.
Well, Drew, it looks like it's Edinburgh University's race to lose on this one here, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 10 coming from that programme, headed up by Chris Jones. But obviously a number of breaststrokers in there. But there should be some good competition coming from the University of Stirling's Kerry Buchan in there, and Emily Jones just out of the 200 medley as well. So I think fancying a close finish there, whilst I think Catherine Johnston would probably start as favourite in this one.
Well, she certainly posted a good swim from the heats this morning, a 109 against the 111s. Emily Bird then, Edinburgh University in 0. Cara Hanlon, Highland in 1. Rachel O'Donnell, 17-year-old Carnegie in 2. Kerry Buchan from the Stirling University, now 26. Catherine Johnson, the fastest time from the heats in 4. Edinburgh University, next door to her teammate Corrie Scott. Emily Jones, fresh out the 200 IM and right into the 100 breaststroke. Andrea Strachan, 21-year-old from Edinburgh University, in a little private battle to lane 8's Hayley Monteith, the 19-year-old from the university, and Geary's Orla Adams makes it into another final. A busy first 2 days for the young, talented 18-year-old from Geary. Well, Ali White says this could be very tight. 5 from Edinburgh University. Kerry Buchan coming into some kind of form again. Catherine Johnson, the 50 specialist, and we'll see how Buchan deals with that expected lead at the 50 by Johnson.
Yeah, and I think whilst some of you might not notice so much with Catherine Stoke, I think she's just lengthened out that first 50 a little bit, but still has dominated the first 50, and looks as though she's taken the race by the scruff of the neck. Out in 31.95.
Well, what a split time for Johnson, but now she has to hang on because Buchan will certainly pull back.
Yeah.
Lane 5, Corrie Scott in a private battle with lane 7, Andrea Strachan, Edinburgh University, dominating the bronze medal position. Buchan not making the expected comeback, but now she starts to come. 15 to go. Johnson tightening up a little bit, shortening, but managing to keep the drive going. The sprinter now moving into the 100 distance, and a clear victory in 108.53.
Well, Drew, I think she'll be extremely pleased with that. 68.5 as well. I think Kerry Buchan with the 69.6, but a fantastic swim there. Out in 31.9.
Catherine Johnson then a 108.53 personal improvement. Buchan on 1.962 in silver. Strachan takes the bronze in 1.11.20. And I make it that Hanlon down there takes the junior with 1.13.4.
I think they'll be dancing in the streets of Portree tonight.
Really?
I think so.
There's dancing every night in Portree. Didn't you know that? Have you never been to the islands?
Yeah.
A final then. Everything decided and awarded. And we move to the B final of the women's 100 breaststroke. Kirsten McKinlay of Glasgow in 0. Erin Robertson, South Ayrshire in 1. 2. Leanna Marshall, North Lanark. Ruth Gordon of Highland in 3. Samantha Caulfield of Carnegie in 4. Pause for the start. Lucy Howarth, City of Newcastle. Caitlin Tootle, Coast 6. Hannah Suter, Heart of Midlothian in 7. Emma Chittelberg of Warnder in 8. Lauren Sutherland of Midlothian in 9. And to get on those newfangled blocks for some variety of approaches, lane 6 then, Caitlin Tootle, as she did in the heats, looked very good on the first 30 metres, faded a little bit at the end, and wonderful first 50, 34.47.
And
So-
sorry, Drew, but Caitlin Tootle there from Coast, I think she was the best on the 50, around 33 low, so I quite strongly just changed their technique a little bit on that first 50, trying to go a bit longer in the stroke, not rev so much, but still they're coming back to her now. Hannah Suter.
Lane 4, Samantha Caulfield making the move from Carnegie, really taking 5 or 6 strokes there and passing the field who were in the lead. It's still about the stroke. It's Caulfield against Suter. Oh yes, and the touch goes to Hannah Suter in 1:14.99 against a 1:15.07 for Caulfield. That finish is so important. The results: Suter 1:14.9, Caulfield the 1:15.07. The third place in the B final went to Tootle at the end with 1:15.62. We move to the presentation for the women's 100. We're getting the presentation for the multi-category final. So we saw a very exciting race, and I can see Gina Logan, our SASA president, standing with the presenter, Mr. Danny McGowan, a board member for Scottish Swimming, a man who has probably one of the longest histories and associations with this sport. You could not write a small book about the contribution that he has made. He's ready to present medals. Of course, he'll do anything for a cup of tea.
And a biscuit.
So, presentation party finally complete as young Erin Davis joins the group.
And it looks like they're going to go with the women's 100 breaststroke presentation first.
So Danny getting a chance now. He's produced wonderful breaststrokers in his time. I can name Derna Campbell, Maureen Campbell, Jean Hill, all in the past, of course, but at the top of Scottish swimming in their day, and British swimming too. So it's women's 100 breaststroke. Catherine Johnson holding off an expected challenge from Kerry Buchan, and Andrea Strachan of Edinburgh University with the bronze. The junior Cara Hanlon.
Cara Hanlon, that's correct.
Heinland. A long way to come, but well, that's what you can take in the kit bag home. Good success as the Scottish junior title goes to Highland. Now we come to the multi-category discipline and accepting their medals. Lara Ferguson. Remember, it's in the category, the time converted into points against the classification tables. Regan Doig taking the medal, getting the handshake, hand on hip. Almost embarrassed to be there, but it's a great silver medal, and it's Regan Doig and Erin Davis with 671 points in her category taking the gold. The friends, teammates and competitors shake hands sportingly and run off to show it to their friends, family and coaches. So, thank you Summers, thank you Danny. The next event up, the men's 100 backstroke. Again, it's the multi-category final. Adam Scott, Fraser Kane, they've been busy men over the first 2 days. Dalglish, Rodgie, Jardine, McLean, Carter, Donachie. 13-year-olds out to 24-year-olds. And the commonality, of course, is the sport of swimming and their ability within that sport. Age might be different, their starting point different, but here they are coming together in a chance to swim in this wonderful facility. Getting preparation, and it's lane 1 to lane 8 that we're looking at. 100 meters backstroke. So difficult start for some. And in lane 1 is Adam Scott, the 16-year-old from Highland. Craig McLean is from the Highland 2 in lane 6. Oliver Carter, 5 performance. And Adam Donachie in 8 for South Lanarkshire, the 13-year-old, 146 from the heats. And apologies for missing Adam Scott in 1, Fraser Kane, Ayrshire in 2, Robert Dalgleish, West Lothian 3, Craig Rodgie in 4, and Kieran Jardine in 5. Multi-category final of the 100 backstroke.
Take your marks.
And we saw some nice racing, and that's a nice little attempt at the underwater start in lane 5 by Kieran Jardine from Dumfries. Out very fast and hard in the first 25. Craig Rodgie of Edinburgh, the 24-year-old. But sometimes in this category of swimming, in this group of swimming, age is not the issue. It's about the ability and the talent. So 2 swimmers turning together. Just behind him in 5 is Kieran Jardine. The touch going in 32.81 to Craig Rodgie.
An aggressive start there from Craig Rodgie, and certainly taking it out. He loves to go out fast the first half of the race, and he'll be looking certainly to bring that back now. He just seems to be extending his lead. It's whether or not he can keep that tempo going all the way to the finish.
Okay, some 5 meters now under the flag, starting to count the strokes, knowing when you're finishing. Nice reach on the right hand for a 106.95, 107.26 from the heat swim. Got to be pleased with that. A very strange finish in lane 6 by Craig McLean, hitting the top of the pad, and sometimes that doesn't register a time. It has done a 115.27 for him. And over there in lane 1, Adam Scott with his individual style, finishing hard. Remember, Adam 141 and goes 138, heats to final. Wow, excellent. Adam Donachie there, maybe a little bit lost in the distance from the flags to the pads, but nevertheless, crashing in for a 144.46 for Adam. 146.1 from the heat. So, you know, it's all relative, and we're looking for faster times from heats to finals. Many of these swimmers have delivered. Rodgie 6, Jardine 9, Dalgleish 10, but you've got to compare it within the category that their disability puts them. Results later, folks.
And a fantastic effort from some of those lads there. Some of them just experiential sponges at the moment, and I think that's reflected in some of the drops that they've had in the heats on their PBs, and then again tonight in the finals. Some really good effort going in there, and lots of things to work on as well.
So men's 100 backstroke A final. Solomon Butt in lane 0 is now know why he rested slightly on the 400 B final. Obviously saving a little bit. Solomon Butt, the junior, in 0. Greg Watson from Milngavie in 1. Craig Bowman in 2 for Carnegie, both 17 years of age. Rory Lamont, 22 from West Dumbarton, a surprise 59.05 in the backstroke. Ryan Bennett, 23, Stirling University, 57.3 in the heats. Andrew McGovern in 5 for the City of Aberdeen swim team. Callum Shaw, 22 years, Edinburgh University, getting another finalist. Ross McCafferty, City of Glasgow, a nice home representation on the 1 minute mark. Gregor Birrell, lane 8 from the first group, 19 years of age. And the second junior in the field in lane 9, Chris McComb from East Lothian. The winner between Solomon Butt and Chris McComb will settle the junior title. But also up for grabs the senior title in these 2013 championships. Men's 100 backstroke. Again, a variety of holding positions on the start, but all men underneath and driving towards that 15. Lane 3, Rory Lamont, very close to that 50-metre mark.
It was close this morning, and it was close again there, so it'll be interesting to see what the judges say. However, I think the battle will take place right in the middle of the pool, and with Rory, it'll be about how long he can hang on for.
Well, very versatile in gymnastic, Rory Lamont in 3. Maybe getting the better of the underwater. It's lane 4 and Ryan Bennett who stays under longest and really picks it up off the transition. Lamont coming back. The giant arms of lane 5's Andrew McGovern, the SCO swimmer, trying to make inroads to the lead. But it's Bennett who's taking a hold of this in the last 5 metres. Can he spot the finish? It's a beautiful lean back, and it's a 56.2 for the record books for the 100 metres backstroke. 56.2, Bennett the victor.
And Rory Lamont there as well, 57.89, so he's dropped down again there, Drew, but I think the skills of Ryan Bennett there won it off the turn at the other end.
Results cleared. Bennett 56.2, McGovern 56.8, Lamont 57.89. And looking down the field, the junior title, I think, going to Solomon Butt with a 1:00.25 against the 1:00.64 of McComb in that final.
What a great race that was as well. Andrew McGovern clearly showing he's sharpening up his skills as well on the start. Really starting to live with Ryan Bennett off the start, and not far off him on the turn either. But he's a really tall chap, so size-wise, if he can get his skills right, then it's going to make a big difference to him. But,
yeah, sometimes difficult for those long-limbed swimmers to do that particular turn and manoeuvre.
But obviously at the international level, there's some pretty big chaps that manage to do it quite well. So this takes a wee bit of time, I think.
Yeah, but it's like at the world level, I always felt that Viachanin of Russia just lost it because he's such a tall guy.
An absolute giant.
You need to have the strength to cope with the body length, to cope with the body weight, and it's all about that preparation and balance through these developmental phase. B final then. Won't give a lineup because we won't have time to cover everybody and enjoy the swim. Fabian Whitbread of Warrender, 21-year-old, 1:01.29 in lane 9. Superb underwater work from Jack Ness of Coast, and puts him into an early lead position. The middle of the field coming back to him with every stroke, but it's an outside smoker for the first 50. Watch the board. We will for you. The touch in 28.43. That start making the difference. But can he hang on in the second 50?
Well, Jack is renowned for his first 50 of the 100, and it's really about hanging on there. And as long as he can focus a little bit more on holding his technique together in this last 25, maybe he can do it. But the rest of the field coming back to him now.
Yeah, and the rest of the field is represented over there in lane number 2. Danny Kirkham making a big bid for the victory, but lane 9's holding on. Jack Ness completes a 50 and 100 double on the field from the outside lane, 59.90. Ness won, 59.9, only one under the minute. McLean took the second place, and Thompson with 1:00.43 in third. The results confirmed. Super swims, one under the minute. Great race though.
Yeah, fantastic B final there, and I think that's that shows you exactly what it means. And to have a second swim there, that none of those guys backing off, really getting up and racing hard. And that's why we have B finals in there. You want to give those swimmers the opportunity to get back in and race and do things better the second time round than they should have done the first time.
Well, the B final, of course, gives a chance for the organisation to get themselves set into place as we look at the presentation. And this is for the men's 100 backstroke. And looking at the presenter, it looks like Gillian
Innes there from formerly with Scottish Swimming as a regional development manager.
And I can remember in the Stromness Club many years ago when I went up to Orkney to do a coaching weekend, Gillian was a swimmer in the squad. Now there's a connection for you.
Well, she's still a very keen master swimmer now.
She's going to get back into it, she tells me, so that's great as Rory Lamont picks up the bronze medal. Good conversion from his 50 to the 100. The silver going to Andrew McGovern. Ali saying that skills are on the up as Ryan Bennett takes the gold medal, and from the 50-metre mark in, he really took a hold of that victory position. Suleiman Butt looking for a space and a time to go up. His silver medal was missing. Now Scottish junior title, and he's making sure he gets into the gold medal position. Scottish junior champion Suleiman Butt from Aberdeen, continuing to add to his huge haul. And the 100 backstrokers clear the way, and the presentation for the multi-category 100 backstroke. Remember, the swim is converted into points because of the category allocation that their disability puts them into. And we're missing a swimmer, trying to wait for Kieran Jardine here as he strides round the pool. He might just make it in time for his medal. That's Robert Dalgleish picking up the bronze medal as Gillian appreciates, gives a little gap, and Kieran jumps into place for the silver medal in the 100 backstroke. And on the top of the podium for the multi-category swim, Craig Rodgie. Edinburgh University, Dumfries and West Lothian picking up the medals in the backstroke event. So we now prepare for the women's 200-metre backstroke, two juniors in the final, and they are next door to one another, so a real challenge for the junior title. You couldn't get it better. Lane 0 and lane 1, watch out for that result, because that will decide the Scottish junior champion for 2013. The women's 200 metres backstroke. Athletes are ready, presentation ready, and here they come. So lane 0, we'll see Kathleen Dawson, lane 1 Megan Briggs, and Well, you couldn't ask for a better setup, but there's still the championship title to decide. Kathleen Dawson in 0 for Warrington. Lane 1, Megan Briggs of Warnder. In 2, Laura Dawson of Newburn. Lane 5 will be Katie Avramova from the Ealing Club. Chelsea Lawson for Carnegie, the 17-year-old in 6. Jennifer King, North Ayrshire, the 15-year-old coming into the final. Emily Grant in 8 for City of Aberdeen. Nicola Lamb, 5 performance squad. And we introduce to you Laura Dawson in 2 for Newburn. Kirsty Simpson, Dundee City in 3. And the fastest time from the heats, Lucy Hope from the Borders squad. The 16-year-old saw a 2:16.3 from the heats to come to lane 4. Now, looking at the underwater section, well, all swimmers attempting very tight to the 15-metre mark, some of them. But it's great to see at this level and, you know, across all the ages in this A final. From 15 years through to 22 years age. The swimmers allowed 15 metres. The little red marker indicates that as they go to the wall, just holding back a little on the first 50. Don't want to go too hard. And again, do you have the confidence and the fitness to take the underwater section on every turn?
Indeed, I think that would be the aim, Drew, is to try and do that, and that's something that they'll be working on in training, but replicating that in a race is something quite different. A lot more pressure on it, but it looks like Lucy Hope there just starting to eke out a bit of a lead. And Laura Dawson going with her at this stage, but Lucy clear leader.
105.6 on the split then for Lucy Hope. Very strong, very high in the water, nice control. Ali described her talent earlier on in the day, and she's converting that into a race. But the Newburn swimmer, Laura Dawson, putting in a strong challenge on the third 50. The challenge also looks like for the bronze medal at the moment. 3 swimmers across, in fact 4 swimmers across the field as Hope goes into the final turn. A little bit crowded on the anti-turb lane rope there as she takes it only 6 metres off the wall, but in a clear winning position at the moment. Lucy Hope then from the Borders elite swim team. Nice arrowhead in the final. Laura Dawson fighting for the silver medal as lane 5's Katie Avramova from Ealing comes into a challenge position. Hope 8 metres to go, keeping the rhythm. The stroke not quite as powerful as in the middle, but a 2:14.4, Ali. Tell us how that goes.
Well, she's just 700ths outside the Scottish junior record there, so it was an excellent swim and a really good PB there.
I'm just wondering if that little drift on the third 50, you know, cost her that record.
And,
Hope, Avramova and Dawson, the 1, 2 and 3 in the A final, 14, 16 and 17 respectively. That's the results confirmed.
And Lucy will be particularly happy, I think, with that swim, with our freestyle events coming on quite nicely and our backstroke just sticking a little bit. But she's clearly been continuing to work on her technique and skills, and along with her fitness, she's looking in great shape. So a lovely PB there, and moving on to the European Juniors now, hopefully all going well.
And I'm sure that there is rest and particular race preparation to come, because a 105.214, it just shows that she's doing that in a fatigue condition, I think.
Yep, just maybe pushing out a 105, just having to work a little harder than she would want to on that one, and that third 50, as you pointed out, just drifted a wee bit on that.
Yeah, and even if you're not swimming in a straight line, if you're drifting diagonally, that is costing you a little bit of time. And as you say, it's only hundreds off the record, so just little things that make the difference, as in life itself. The B final, Shannon Crawford in lane 0, the 14-year-old Geary swimmer. Mary High of Ren 96 in 1, Joe Whittingham Southport in 2, Karen Reid South Ayrshire from 3, Shona Mackey with the fastest time, 2:24.79 in the B final. Chloe Barclay West Dumbarton 2:24, Abby Houston Dumfries, Orla Adams busy again for Geary in 7, Serena Rimmer of Southport in 8, Lisa Curry South Lanark, and as we get to the first 50, it's Chloe Barclay that takes the 50 time, 32.74. Nice positive swim there. In lane 5, the West Dumbartonshire 16-year-old. Tempo a little slow. It's like you compare the 100 to the 200, and it's like saying you rev fast, you have a high tempo in the 100, but you swim a lot slower in the 200.
Just too much of a difference, Drew, I think, between one and the other. And sometimes I think swimmers just struggle a little bit to get what that feels like. Although I have to say on this third 50, she just tried to make an effort there to pick up the rate, and I think you'll notice a bit of a difference on this 50.
32.36. So it's Shona, Chloe Barclay then in the lead in lane 4. Shona Mackey trying to cut down on the third 50. This is the B final, so it's about times and it's about places where you'll rank at the end of the event, and of course the place in the B final, that's important. And there it's almost as if she saved herself. She's certainly changed gear. Chloe Barclay picking up in the last 50. A 1:08 split, remember. The clock ticking through the 2-minute mark with 25 to go. No real challenge, everybody in their own lane, in their own world, swimming against the heat time and this 200 backstroke. The technical difficulty, the weakness on the supine position, and Barclay finishes in 2:20.87 off that 1:08, coming into the final with a 2:24. So nice strong swim from Chloe.
I think it was a lovely swim there as well, and we were talking about the difference on the rates, and she clearly made a conscious decision to control that first 100 and then pick up the rate thereafter. And I'm sure you would be saying, well, there's probably still a bit more to come within that swim as well, but it was well paced, I think.
What coach is ever satisfied? So 2:20.87 with those turns and the inspection thereof. We're waiting to see all the results cleared. Time for Barclay 2:20.8. Mackey in the second place at 2:24.1. The third time was 2:26.23 for Karen Reid of South Ayrshire, and officials having a long discussion about this, and you know, this really should be a bit slicker in the final session. Hanging by the neck here to see if your time is going to be registered and accepted, or whether you're the DQ. We had a long discussion earlier today, and the results stood, so maybe it is important to have that chat and conversation. The swimmers gathering for the presentation. So
I'm reliably informed it's not about a disqualification, it's actually about the quality of one of the times on the electronic timing, so they're just reviewing it just to make sure that the swimmer gets allocated with the right time.
Good inside knowledge, Ali. Thank you very much for that clarification. And the time's cleared. 2:20.8 to Barclay, Mackey with a 2:24.1 and Reid 2:26.23. All times are cleared and standing, and the electronic pad gets a wrap on the knuckles.
Chloe Barclay in that event there, 2:25 is their entry time from this morning, 2:24 into the B final and then dropped to 2:20 there, so I think
it's the right pattern.
It's the right pattern, and that's a lovely drop for her, and our coach Jimmy Orr, I'm sure, will be particularly happy about that.
So 200 backstroke A final, grand race. And there Laura Dawson of Newburn, that bright orange and distinctive colour from that club, taking the bronze medal. Second place to Katie Amramova from Ealing, the 22-year-old, supporting the Scottish Championships year after year. The Bulgarian international taking second place, but it's Lucy Hope with the gold medal round her neck and a super time, just 7/100ths off the Scottish junior record. The presenter, Derna Campbell, one of the senior Scottish team managers and on the British team management list, now putting a bank of experience of team management behind herself. A breaststroker from the Cumbernauld club in her heyday.
And Drew, you mentioned Katie Avramova there, attending the Scottish Nationals, a big supporter she is, and it's always great to have her here, and a swimmer of that class involved there. Swim internationally all over the world in all the major championships, and it really is great to have someone like her here at the championships.
So next event is the A final for the men's 200 butterfly. One of the tough Iron Men events in the swim programme. 2:03 the fastest time from the heats, out to 2:11. But it could be a very close finish. James Black, the 17-year-old, in for Warnder. In one is Alistair Miley, the middle brother of the Miley family from Geary. Mark Schranek of Carnegie, the 18-year-old, from Fife in 2. Felix Gifford from City of Aberdeen in 3. Cameron Brodie, University of Stirling, very powerful butterflyer. Ross Muir, the main challenger, the Stirling men side by side. Sean Campsey, the 19-year-old from Warnder, swam 2:08 in the heats. Stuart McIntosh of City of Aberdeen, the 20-year-old, comes into 7. Ryan Brown, the 15-year-old, comes into this men's final from the Borders. And David Mulligan of Warnder, the 17-year-old, 2:11.38 from the heats. That's your lineup for this A final.
And David Mulligan celebrating his 17th birthday today, so a nice little present, getting himself into the A final of the 200 fly.
A lot of mixed swimming in the 200 butterfly from the morning, but this is a different state of affairs in the final. 2:03.67 from Cameron Brodie. He went out strong in the first half of the swim this morning, struggled in the third 50, came back on the fourth, and going out very strong, Sean Campsey in lane 6, getting to the 50 in 27.26 and leading this final. First to rise, nobody staying too long underwater. That's a bit hard inside a 200 butterfly. It's enough to swim the event rather than add these underwater sections at this stage.
And it was Cameron Brodie in the heats that looked the strongest, and it's Cameron that's now moving forward on this first 100. Looks a little bit more controlled than he did in the opening 50, so that should provide him maybe with a little bit extra coming down the second half of the race. So
58.22 the split. Brodie under pressure from Mark Schranek, the 18-year-old from Carnegie. Out there in lane 2, the Carnegie Fife man, the talented junior from Scotland, having a real go at Cameron Brodie, the 21-year-old Stirling University swimmer. The battle for silver at the moment between Ross Muir and Sean Campsey. Coming back, Brodie still looking strong, keeping the rhythm. 3 across the pool, Schranek, Campsey and Muir looking to go for the silver medal. Brodie, if he tires at all in the last 15, he's not going to get caught. He's put in the work early on. He's still looking strong. Into the 5, 3 strokes to go, head down, knows it well, perfect finish. Silver medal going to lane 5, Ross Muir. And the bronze medal in a verified touch going to Campsie in 2:04.75, just edging out a super swim from Mark Schranek, 2:04.90 at the moment.
Well,
Brody 2:02 for the gold, Muir 2:03 for the silver, Campsie nice bronze in 2:04.75.
And there's some cracking swims within there as well. Ross Muir, I think it's a lovely PB there for him at 2:03, so that's very positive. Same for Campsie. Schranek pushing on his, which is looking good for the European juniors. And then Felix Gifford, after his effort in the, or not effort in the 400 freestyle, popping in a 2:06. 2:06 in the 200 fly there. I think that you'll find that that's a lifetime best for him as well.
Yeah, just obviously didn't feel he had the conditioning to handle the 400 B and the A final for 200 fly. There is an argument about, you know, you're an individual in an individual sport. You got to do what's best for you. Sometimes the team and the organisation of a competition doesn't suit. As we come to the B final, 200 butterfly, Craig Barnes Carnegie, Matthew Anderson Warner in 1. Cameron Nelson Carnegie, second swimmer in the B final in 2. Callum Reid Warner in 3. Fraser Lowther Dumfries in 4. Ross Woolley Warner in 5. Ed Gray from City of Glasgow in 6. Callum Laurie first, lane 7. Samuel Jones, West Lothian, 15-year-old, in lane 8.
And we saw this morning young Callum Laurie working pretty hard. He's just the youngest, I think, in the field here, so it'll be interesting to see how he copes. But at the moment, it's the more experienced Ross Woolley that's taking it out in lane 5, 28.3 in the first 50, and actually looking pretty relaxed on it. Interesting to see whether he can cope with that pace on second 100 at 60.4.
Remember, the A final went through in 58.2, and it's a clear lead, so there's no, but he's starting now to drop the hips, and you can see him dropping his head now to help get flat, because he can feel that in the stroke, the battle against the horizontal and streamlined position of the stroke as he tires. Good easy 100, but not so easy third 50. Now, can he change that and pick it up in the last 50? Ross Woolley, lane 5. Time from the heats, the 21-year-old swam 2:12.6. You can just see the arms not quite making it to the front of the stroke as he tires. The second place men are fighting. It's Ed Gray in 6, over there in 3, Callum Reid coming through. Now Gray into second place as we see Ross Woolley doing the work in the front of the event. 2:08.36, nice drop from the 2:12. Well, very positive swim, taking that second swim opportunity and really making a difference. Heats to final.
I think you're absolutely right there, and I don't think Ross has been down in that territory for a while, so
2:06 then confirmed. Gray with the second place in the B final, 2:11, and it's 2:12.55 for the third place swimmer.
I was saying there, Ross Woolley not been down in that territory for a while, so I think he'll be particularly pleased with that. And that swim there, very positive, as you say, took it out at the start, just paid for it a wee bit at the end, but I think he'll be pleased with his efforts this evening.
And we turn from the B final to the next presentation. And this is for the men's 200 butterfly A final. Matthew Leopold from British Gas down ready for presentation. This is the J. Forter Trophy, and the junior is Shell Oil trophy, which they get later on. Don't want to make it cumbersome as they used to and have lids dropping and bases dropping all over the place. So Matthew Leopold presenting the medals to the men on the 200 butterfly event. And there Sean Campsey in the bronze medal position. Silver medal going to Ross Muir, Stirling University. Sean Campsey from Warnder, and it's Cameron Brodie. Very strong swim from the front, from signal to pad. It was all about if anyone could catch him.
And Ryan Brown,
junior title
champion, Ryan Brown from the Borders Elite swim team with a nice 207 point in that A final. Yeah, was a nice drop for him, and that's pretty much on his best.
Excellent. Congratulations to Ryan. And well, the sprints are now shaping up. The 50 metres freestyle and the 50 metres breaststroke, women and men coming up. So from the power and the steady rock solid pace of the butterfly swim, we move to the brightness and the swiftness of the shortest distance on the programme. And the women, the 50 freestyle, that should be a really exciting event. And this is the next final for you from the Tollcross International Swim Centre. Keep those tweets coming. Your hashtag SGN13 Live. And at Scott Swim Live, tell your friends and your family and your neighbours to get on there. If you want this streaming to continue, we need a big audience figure. That will attract the sponsors. So the more people looking in, the stronger it is for Scottish Swimming to win that sponsorship and keep this service provided for you. We know you've enjoyed it, but you got to do your job. Get on the phone, get on the text, get on the emails, and get people on the streaming now and on the next 2 days. Equip TV. So this is the multi-category final. Amy McFarlane in 3, Regan Doig in 4, Hope Gordon, the 19-year-old, swims in 5, with Beth Johnson from the Borders in lane 6. So this is the category final of the 50 metres freestyle. It's Motherwell, Perth, Stirling, and again the Borders swim team in the final. So it's all about what time can you do to get into that conversion to points and be successful in the category. Good control at the start. It's an in-the-water swim from Hope Gordon, the 19-year-old from Stirling, and they're off on the fastest swim in their programme, the 50 freestyle.
Indeed, and Regan had a very positive swim in the 100 breaststroke earlier on, and she's back for some more now. Loves to race, and she's certainly, in terms of racing, she's up there at the moment. Of course, we'll have to wait and see what that translates to in the point score.
Regan Doig then slotting in a 31.9. She went 31.7 in the heat, so maybe the earlier final just took a little bit out of her. Second time, 34.53 to Hope Gordon. 35.6 going to McFarlane. 39.8 for the fourth swim, Johnson, but remember that needs to be converted into their category tables. Results confirmed, times good, then we wait on the result being worked out. Next event up, the women's 50 freestyle A final. The sprinters getting ready. And again, the Borders swim team. Lucy Hope with a very, very busy session. The backstroke Victor now coming out for the 50 freestyle after a middle event. 16-year-old, 27.3 from the heats. She'll be in lane 0.
And what's great to see in this event, Drew, is the mixture of the younger swimmers taking a go on the older ones. So
Lucy Hope then, the 16-year-old from the Borders, in 0. Lauren Averill from O'Gyan Bearsden takes lane 1. Kirsty Simpson, the Dundee City aquatic swimmer, in 2. Katie Stark of Warnder, a 15-year-old, in this sprint final. Sian Harkin, Stirling University, first representative, fastest swimmer from the heats, 26.32. Eloise Barber, second Stirling University swimmer, in 5. Julie Hunter of the first squad, the 17-year-old, with a 26 point this morning. Rachel Masson, South Aberdeen, in 7. Samantha Caulfield from Carnegie, the 16-year-old, in lane 8. Lane 9 is Jessica Christie, the 17-year-old South Aberdeen swimmer, completes the lineup for the A final of the 50 freestyle. Sian Harkin, 19 years of age, 26.32, the fastest time from the heats. Lucy Hope in lane 0. Very quick into the stroke in lane 3, Katie Stark. It's all in a line at the 25 for the gold and the silver. The Edinburgh University squad, 4 and 5, looking strong in the middle. 15 metres to go. Nobody challenging the students from University of Edinburgh. It's a battle for them, stroke to stroke, and reaching for the wall. The touch goes to Barber in 26.27, just lowering her heat time. It's all about spotting the finish. 26.74. Barber Harkin Simpson. Well, that looks like, oh no, it's not. It's, yeah, Barbara Harker Simpson, the 1, 2 and 3 there, as the scoreboard swiftly moved to the B final swimmers.
And Barbara and Harkin both swimming for Stirling University there, with DCA's Kirsty Simpson taking bronze, and the junior champion looking as though it's Katie Stark from Warnder Baths.
The B final underway, and favourites here, Ali?
Well, it's going to be pretty tight once again, but I think Sarah Hamilton and Rachel Sharples, Gillian Clark, probably the favourites on this one.
Lane 5, Rachel Sharples looks as if she's just got the edge, but watch over there in lane 2, Katie Abramova out of the final, and Abramova hits a 27.11 and just steals it, 8/100s. Abramova, Sharples, Donnelly, 1, 2 and 3 in the B final, and it was 8/100s, as you would expect in the 53. Not as close as it's been, but a good second swim from Abramova in the day 2 finals. So B final over. You know the pattern by now, folks. We move through to the next presentation. It's the women's 50 freestyle A final who are ready. And the presenter looks like David Carey, well known from his swimming history, but now taking part in a real job and connected to swimming, and of course a newest member to the board that oversees and monitors and encourages and supports Scottish swimming professionals. So presenting is David Carey. A wonderful finish to his career in the Olympic final, wasn't it?
It was that, I mean, he did a tremendous job in getting himself into that final, and especially the way they had to qualify as well through the 2 qualifying meets. But a fantastic ambassador for British swimming, and great to have him appointed to the Scottish Swimming Board. I'm sure he'll add some great value to that particular group.
Indeed, David Carey, double gold from his Commonwealth Games days, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to see those fast swims that Ali was talking about at the top of the programme, coming here to Glasgow. Great competitor. Super guy, and of course his both his swimming career and his personal life in the papers. He's a real celebrity in Scottish sport. As the ladies step up for the 50 freestyle final. The trophy for the senior championships, unnamed, as is the junior, but there from the 50 freestyle, Kirsty Simpson taking the bronze in the senior event. And there, Miss Harkin, Shan Harkin, taking the silver. And in the touch out of the Stirling University swimmers, Eloise Barber taking the gold on this occasion and the title of Scottish champion. And the last medal on the tray going to Katie Stark. Oh yeah, tiptoe kiss.
Yep, smiles all round there, I think, Drew, for the ladies, getting kisses off of David
newly
Carey.
married, of course. I hope his wife's not watching this streaming. And she could be.
Yep, that's all smiles. And I think the next lot coming up, they're looking for it too. Excellent.
It's supposed to happen at 7 years, isn't it? That kind of behaviour. So anyway, multi-category presentation then. Times converted. Amy McFarlane. Taking that bronze medal for the Motherwell club, and she's still giggling after that kiss from David Carey. Wonderful
I
moment.
think she's giggling because she's just about to get a kiss from David Carey. I think that's it. She's super excited. Look at this.
Yeah. Rock on. Look at that chair
That
shake.
makes it worth the gold medal, doesn't it?
And there she is, questioning and raising the eyebrows. Slouched. Just super cool. Yeah, Megan Doig there taking the gold medal.
Beaming from ear to ear.
Enjoying the presentation. But come on, David, we've got an event to run here. Get off this stage.
And he's absolutely loving it.
He is indeed.
Of course,
part of the early Scottish development programme, you know, through the youth squads and into the, you know, the seniors, and then into the Olympic and then the elite. I mean, just a wonderful example of what it takes and how to get to the top level.
Absolutely, and if you had a stereotype that you wanted to put in place, then he would be it, to be honest with you. But of course, we'll wish his wife, Kerry-Ann Payne, all the best out at in Barcelona for the World Championship Open Water Test event, joined there by Daniel Huskisson as well. So all the best for those two, doing a little bit of altitude training up at Sierra Nevada and then dropping down for that particular event before they return. So all the best.
Well, we've had tweets on trains, we've had tweets from the Faroes, so maybe we'll have tweets from the Sierra Nevada. So men's 50 breaststroke then, keeping the shape and the organisation of the pool. Jamie Graham, 20 years of age, 29.42, all men under the 30. Dougie Scott, University of Stirling in 1. Joseph Wellstead in 2. Stirling's 23-year-old. Mark Tully in lane 3 for East Lothian. In the pole position, lane 4, Ross Murdoch, the 19-year-old Stirling University student, 28.14 from the heats. Ewan Ingalls, Edinburgh University. Look at the size of him. Daniel Slavinsky, University of Stirling, 23-year-old. Mark Campbell of the City of Aberdeen in 7, 28.6 from the heat swim. Craig Benson, Scotland's young Olympian, the 19-year-old Warrender swimming, now on the next phase of his career. And Daniel Scott in lane 9, City of Glasgow, bookending this 50-metre breaststroke final.
And I think this is going to be a blanket finish, a really exciting race, a fantastic heat swim from Ewan Ingalls from Edinburgh University in that first in the heat, but I think this is anybody's race, to be honest with you.
And the race underway. Nothing in the first 20 metres. Coming to the halfway mark, the power swimmers. They can't swim too fast, otherwise they lose the grip on the water. So it's about looking at that pad, making the adjustment. In lane 6, Daniel Slavinsky making a challenge for the goal, but a fast revving lane 4, Ross Murdoch might just be on tongue. And Slavinsky stole that 28.09. Across the pool, you would have given it to the fast finishing Ross Murdoch, but the length, the power, the judgment, 9 100s goes to Slavinsky. Silver to Murdoch, and Ingalls takes 28.35, bronze medal from lane 5.
Well, a blanket finish was promised and a blanket finish was delivered by those swimmers there. Fantastic racing.
The B final, Edinburgh University again loading it up. This time 6 swimmers in the B final. Tate, Holroyd, Thompson, Andrew Rodgie, Wilcox, Thorpe, Quinn, then Olenek from Bristol, Lim, Warner, Dunbar, Coast, your lineup. They swam just on the 29 high mark, so they'll want to drop this to low 29s and maybe even get under on 1 or 2, but that's a tough ask, but they have the opportunity and their race underway.
And well, again, I think it'll just be similar to the A final. Probably Scott Wilcox and Andrew Rodgie, but it's a very strong first 25 there by Jack Thorpe, probably more renowned for his freestyle.
Jack Thorpe then in 5, really powering, a very short, sharp arm action, and he really is powering ahead. He's made the adjustment, you can see that, nice intelligence in the last 5 metres. 29.11, little adjustment 6 metres out. He knew he was under pressure, but he knew he could lengthen because his stroke was short for the first 45 metres. Clever swimming, good from Jack Thorpe to take that B final in 29.11. Wilcox second, Tate in third position from lane 0. Nice swimming, great racing from the boys in the B.
And confirmation after those 2 finals that and this afternoon we watched a young man called Benedict Tortolano coming through to some fantastic effort in the 50 breaststroke, and he turns out to be the junior champion.
Well,
good. A young man from Warrender in Edinburgh.
Right, will he wear his hips stripped, do you think?
I doubt it, but I think we could let him off if he decided that was what he was going to do.
So, B final finished. Yes, we move on to presentation. Down there it's Paul Gallagher now. Well, it's Paul Gallagher, but I met him earlier and that's not Paul Gallagher. 50 breaststroke, Oliver Bromley. We're a presentation ahead of ourselves, I think.
Yep, Oliver Bromley from Scottish Gas.
So the main sponsors represented here this evening, and cleverly wearing casual gear for the heat and the humidity of the pool. Men's 50 breaststroke A final, of course. We turn to that, a blanket finish and a steal. We saw Ewan Ingalls there, the 21-year-old Edinburgh University student, in third place. In the silver position, the favourite Ross Murdoch, University of Stirling. And from Stirling, Daniel Slavinsky. I think that's the steal of the meet so far. for Slavinsky on a 50 breaststroke.
And Daniel Slavinsky just back in training after being injured. Qualified for the Olympics last year, didn't actually go, injured.
And there's Tortolano picking up the Scottish junior gold medal and title. Handshakes all round, good competitive race, blanket finish, and wonderful for the audience and the internet viewers out there in web world. So from their swims, of course, what's important after the swimming is swim down, get rid of the lactic acid and recover the muscles. Maybe some massage to help that process, getting the toxins, you know, out of the muscle structure, and then rest. But of course you can't rest sometimes if you have a very late meal, so it's all about planning and preparation, and all that surrounds the swim. So it's about getting a good nutritious meal, early to bed, and a really good sleep. But sometimes in order to do that, when your body's firing after the physical performance, you maybe need to swim down or get a massage. A lot of swimmers like the massage to make them recover, and that's what that's all about. The women stepping forward for the last individual swim of the program on day 2, the 800 meters freestyle event. Rebecca Smith from Highland, the 17-year-old in lane 0. Meg Finnan, the young talented star, the 15-year-old South Lanark. Helen McRoberts from Warnder in 2. Hannah Miley is come out for the 800 in 4. No swimmer. Hannah Miley just getting her cooled down from the pool. Just all these little foibles. Megan Gilchrist in 5 for Armadale. Camilla Hattersley, City of Glasgow in 6. Jessica Christie in 7 for South Aberdeen. Jennifer King, North Ayrshire's 15-year-old, comes into 8. And Alicia McCracken from the first squad, the 17-year-old in lane 9.
Yep, unfortunate to see that Aisha Thornton has not managed to be here for the final. And the heat best so far is 9:16 from Kieran Kelly.
That was a good swim.
That was
too,
a really
wasn't it, Ali?
even
You
swim,
enjoyed that.
I did.
could tell. Yeah. Kieran coming to some kind of form as the final heat comes off. Now remember, 9:16 would you know, still be a challenge to the top 9 swimmers now, because as we pointed out, Aisha Thornton of Loughborough not here. That's lane 3, the gap. Now, as part of our preparation program, of course, Hannah Miley putting in extra training and a distance some like the 800, a chance to race at that kind of distance.
And we'd expect Hannah to take it to lead out the race. Megan Gilchrist, probably the other form swimmer at 800 freestyle. 8:42 a couple of weeks ago, so obviously swimming quite well, but she has a tendency just to take things quite steady at the beginning and then work her way into the race, keep things as even as possible, and perhaps even try to negative split it a little bit. But don't discount Camilla Hattersley to a point, because she's just coming back to form after breaking her or chipping an ankle bone earlier in the season, and it's just taken a wee bit of time to get back into training with that one. So she's starting to come back into a bit of form as well. But it's Hannah Miley at the moment looking fairly comfortable. A really hard schedule that she's had recently. The last couple of weeks ago at the East District Grand Prix, swimming just about every race that's out there, plus doing training sessions in the morning, 8,000 metre training sessions. So she's working extremely hard and doing something similar here as she prepares to go forward to the British Championships.
Yeah, some of our new viewers, of course, on the streaming process will have dropped their tea biscuit at 8,000 in the morning, full competitive programme and the swim downs, etc. But that's what she programmes herself to do, along with her coach and father, Patrick. And the 800 then, very much about pacing and being able to hold even pace. You really want to squeeze the whole event down, but it ends up being a faster first quarters, very slightly, a very solid middle section, the middle 400, and then trying to bring the last 200 home. Many swimmers take that pattern, but a lot depends on the racing, because if the swimmers are in a line across in a final, then you know, strategy and response to that can happen in something like an 800. You've got time, and on freestyle you've got the capacity to do such a thing.
Yeah. And also the tactics play almost a bigger role. I mean, it's a longer race straight away, so you could employ different tactics. We saw that in the Olympic 800 metre final there with Ledecky taking that one out, and so
yeah, making some of the older swimmers really hurt on that one.
Absolutely.
And they were put off their swim because of the pace of Ledecky and trying to catch up and swimming something quite different, I think.
Yeah, they weren't expecting it, and that did the trick for you. But that's the beauty of this particular race. It allows you to do that. Miley coming in towards the first 400.
So heat declared winner means that in the listings, the 3 heats from the morning, all the times are ranked and sit there waiting on this last heat, and then the times are reshuffled, re-ranked from the times in the pool, the 9 swimmers here, and that determines the eventual result. So there's no final, all this is the final heat of the event. Now Hannah, 3:14 on the 300, now hitting 4:20 on the way through at the halfway mark. So 66s, 33s, just like a metronome. Nice balanced swim. Battle for second place with lane 5's Megan Gilchrist just making a move at the 400.
Yeah,
she and Camilla Hattersley have been stroke for stroke on the first 400, but just making a little break there just to try and secure hopefully the silver medal if she can put in a good time. Likely to be so.
And Hannah holding 106s on the hundreds at the moment. Nice and even. I would expect her just to maintain that, maybe even just try to pick it up a little bit off of that pace. Megan Gilchrist, as we were talking about earlier on, fairly even on the first 400, and she's definitely made a break now from Camilla Hattersley and picked up the pace. In fact, the gap between her and Hannah just starting to close a little bit at that point. So yep, there's a 105 high there for Megan Gilchrist. So just probably taking a second off of Hannah Miley's lead there, and really look at that 6-beat leg kick there, Drew. Just starting to drive her rhythm and rate up, and it's now the gap's been halved.
Doing that at this stage in the race, it's all about how much it takes out of her for a final finish, because we know that Hannah is such a competitor that when she sees that attack on, she will respond. The swimmers now all in their individual worlds on the 800. A little battle across the pool in lanes 7, 8 and 9 between Jessica, Jennifer and Alicia, but well behind the pace of the leaders. Hannah breathing to the right every 2, and she'll see Camilla Hattersley perhaps out of the just underneath the arm or underneath in the water. Just see the response. So we're looking at the 600 time, 5:27. She moved out to 67s, a 6:33, back to 6s for Hannah. But Camilla working really well there. Megan Gilchrist working really well there, cutting that lead down and maybe making a good race of it for the end of this 800.
Indeed, dropped again to another 105 at that point in time, so picking up another second and a bit off of Hannah Miley. The gap's now down to about 4 meters, I think, and she's working real hard and looking good on it as well, I have to say.
Megan Gilchrist, 23 years of age, from Armadale, right there in the centre part of Scotland, of course, and driving through 6 beat, nice tidy arm action, quick to the water but still using underwater, good tracking. Again, breathing every 2, the demands of that effort, needing to get the oxygen in, and this time the bells will signal. Hannah Miley knows that she's got a little race on in this last 100, and will she respond? Through in 7:40 high, so 67s.
Yep, 67 there for Hannah, 66 there for Megan. And look at this. There might well be a bit of a race coming down the last 50.
Well, could it be an upset? But I think there's a lot left in the tank. But we just mentioned in the earlier part of the day that Patrick and Hannah thought that she may just be a little over fatigued at this stage in her programme. But here's the leg kick coming in, a beautiful underwater section, and just pushing Gilchrist a little bit further, and you know, swatting the young 23-year-old upstart. Hannah only 24 herself, of course, but there you are, the class of the champion. She was doing her own swim, but seeing the danger, wanting that title, the competitive spirit kicked in. Hannah through in 8:45.91. So a nice 65 point on the finish from Hannah Miley. Great challenge from Megan Gilchrist in 8:47, entered in 8:36, but it's about the race here in the 800, not about best times or anything. The third time, Hattersley in 54.89, entered on an 8:57, as the race between 8 and 9, very, very close, exactly same time, 9:17.82 for 7th place, and the final place, as we confirm the results, Miley 8:45, Gilchrist 47, Hattersley 54. That ends up being the 1, 2 and 3 in the 800 over the 4 heats.
And that 9:07.72 from Meg Finnan, South Lanarkshire's Meg Finnan, means that she takes the junior title.
Thanks, Ali.
Nice swim from her in that race there. She was battling away with Rebecca Smith from the Highland on the outside, so that they had a bit of a personal battle going on, whilst Miley and Gilchrist were having to go at each other in the middle of the pool.
There were 3 separate races there, but all at different stages and pace. As we wait on the swimmers, of course, it's a little bit of a rush for the top swimmers. 800, they get the results, they will know the results, of course, and then getting ready for the presentation. And of course, after the swim, sometimes there are different needs other than drying down.
Indeed.
So the 800 freestyle.
Yeah. Looks like Hannah just motoring up there to the other end of the pool where the physiologists are. She'll be taking up a lactate test there just to see what our peak lactate is there for that particular race, and then she'll use that data when it comes to her swim down and evaluating what recovery is like.
We haven't been able to really discuss that aspect of the swim program, so while we're waiting in the presentation, we can have a little chat about that. Peak lactate for all our newcomers.
Well, the peak lactate is the amount of lactate that's produced by that swimmer in a particular event, and it's a method of seeing how much effort's actually been put into the swim, if you like, and kind of varies from individuals, across individual swimmers, and from different events as well. So,
well, any exercise produces lactate, of course, but when you're doing any kind of competition, you will find a high point at the end, and if you take a little drop of blood, you can analyze that, the measurement.
Indeed.
Millimoles per litre.
And millimoles per litre, indeed. And I think over a period of time and in different parts of the season, you can see.
What's the highest you've ever seen peak lactate?
Well, I don't personally like those kind of competitions in terms of who's got the biggest peak lactate, but those at the higher end of the scale are around 19 or 20 in terms of millimoles.
Well, we're re-engaging with the presentation, and of course missing the victor. Thought we might get a substitute again, but well, not able to do that physiological test. Trotting round there is the the full-time sub for Hannah Miley. Not your Hollywood look-alike, but a substitute to receive the medal and, you know, keep the event on track. The presenter is Paul Gallagher. He's the qualifications manager for the Scottish Qualifications Authority in Education, and enjoying the active presentation there as we see from the 800, Camilla Hattersley of City of Glasgow, bright red with the effort of that good swim in her home pool. Paul turning now to Megan Gilchrist from the Armadale Club, a silver medal, and a really good looking swim in the middle there, but it just wasn't able to take it all the way to the wall. And well, not the Hannah Miley look-alike, but the substitute, and I think we all understand the process that are going on. The Geary Summer getting a substitute from the club for the gold medal, and Meg Finnan of South Lanark taking the Scottish Junior title in the longest event on the programme, the 800 freestyle. I'm being quietly reminded here that I was talking about tonight's programme, the 800, but the 1500 comes on Sunday for women, so it's the longest event for women in the total programme. But thank you, Ali, for that quiet correction, and see me later in my office, please.
Try my best to keep you on track, Drew. It's been a long time, you know.
As if I needed it. The men's 800 freestyle relay, the 4x200 event. 2 heats of this event. The first block of times round about 8:15 out to 9:11. The second into the 7-minute mark. Edinburgh University fastest qualifiers, as you might expect, 7:37.7. So we'll pick up the teams after the start. And in lane 1 is the group from First. In 2 is South Lanark. In 3 is West Lothian. In 4, East Lothian, next door again. And Carnegie in 5, Ren 96 in 6, Dundee City in 7, and East Lothian junior team in lane 8. Men's 4x2.
And so East Lothian for summer in Chris McComb for them, but Callum Smith there, Jack Shonick actually, it is for Carnegie leading out that team. But Stephen Gibb in lane 7, you'll remember earlier on in the session him winning the junior title in the 400 freestyle, so a good pedigree in the 400 freestyle and in freestyle swimming, so I expect him to be taking that out. Of course, the 4x200 freestyle has all sorts of permutations in terms of pacing and how you actually do it and where you are in the race.
Yeah, well, we're talking about, you know, the quandary the coach goes for the Order of Summers and the different levels that you have available to you. Some clubs are really building a nice bank of potential 4x2 teams, so you can have A and B, and then you know, you've got your junior swimmers, and you might have a very fast junior that could do well in the senior, but you then have a decision about, do you go for the junior title?
All those sorts of things, and also within the race itself, there can be some big gaps on the go to start off with, but those can be overhauled as we go through the race. That's what makes it such an exciting event. But it's fantastic to see so many teams actually entering into it. Days gone by, it's been small entries into these types of things, but now a growing entry, which is fantastic to see.
It is. It's very pleasing to see, and coming to the national championships for the first time in a long time, it's a delight to see the strength and depth of the Scottish programme. Of course, the 4x200, at this level you can see a tremendous separation of the teams, all vying to complete the 800 metres distance, but in a different format, sometimes leading, sometimes coming from the middle. And you've got to look at the entry times and just see if it's perhaps a best club time. And in this first heat, that's more especially what you're likely to see. So in the 200, the halfway mark of the second summer, we see over there in lane 2, 16-year-old Jack Elby in there doing the job. Often we talk about the two summers in the middle as the engine room, usually very similar times, and they try to almost steady the ship in the middle. And if you've got a good lead out, then that's an important task, and you can see that at the very top level as well. And hopefully you have a real strong, fast finisher to anchor, just in case you need that, well, that extra bit coming from the turbo of the sprint summers.
And it's East Lothian there in lane 4, just coming through. And, lane number 2 there. Jack Elby looks as though he's just made a bit of a fist of it there, so South Lanarkshire leading into the third leg.
Elby to Ewan McComish, and in lane 4 Swingam into Finlay Williamson. That's the lead swims at the moment in heat 1. Lane 2 and lane 4, and tracking them at the back, lane 1 and lane 3, the first team and the West Lothian team, but they're some 6-7 metres behind. A good battle again between lane 5 and lane 6, Carnegie against Wren 96. And then away further back in lane 8, East Lothian Juniors, of course, going for the junior time, well off the pace of the senior teams. And so 3 separate battles in the pool at the moment.
Indeed, in South Lanarkshire, junior team up against the seniors of East Lothian as well, with Ewan McComish in their lane 2, just holding in together. So it's great to see the younger boys having a go at the older boys, even though I guess that's East Lothian's maybe their second team. That's another one to go in the next heat. So, but South Lanarkshire really making a fist of it at the moment, and strong Angus Barr coming up in the last leg of the event. So Angus will maybe fancy his chances.
So out in the lead then, the last turn, Williamson of East Lothian in 4. Barr chasing hard. Comfortable looking swim. The power is long and strong from the summer in lane 4. Building to that finish. Got to go in and keep your pace. Can't change and mess it up in that last 5. Got to give the outgoing summer every chance to make the right decision. You can see that little step forward, wind up of the arms, and off you go. The perfect takeover would see both summers in the horizontal position, the incoming summer absolutely flat, The outgoing some are absolutely flat with the toes on the block. It's a difficult skill to manage, and we've seen many famous disqualifications for takeovers.
Yep, and I guess at the international level you can see the small margins, but the big massive gains that you can get by doing these sorts of skills properly. And Angus Barr there just starting to eat into the lead that East Lothian have had at the moment, and he looks as though he's wound it up in that first 100. He's eaten up that gap in the first 100 metres.
So under pressure then in lane 4, Struan Stewart, the 17-year-old, from Angus Barr, the 15-year-old, and South Lanark juniors really putting in a show here in the first heat. Other junior team, East Lothian in 8, well back. He's just Jonathan Sharples into the first 100 as Angus Barr piles on the pressure here.
Indeed, and as we were saying earlier on, things can change pretty quickly depending on where all the swimmers are and how they pace their race. But Angus looks as though he's got this one in the bag. Still got plenty left in the tank. 25 to go. Nobody's going to close that down on him, and that's a good marker for the juniors.
And as he comes in, we see the turn at the 100 by Jonathan Sharples of East Lothian juniors. South Lanark juniors, though, out the park here. Angus Barr bringing them home then. The winning time in Heat 1, 8:14.92.
And that's a new Scottish junior club record there.
Junior club record, excellent.
That's good.
And at the end of quite a tough day, great swim from the South Lanarkshire team. Second place, 8:22.49 in lane 4 to East Lothian A team. And the third time, 8:23.59. We've got to wait on the last teams finishing in lane 7. Now there is the possibility, we've got an early warning of a disqualification from, but we'll need to wait and see. That's all about takeovers in a freestyle relay. It's hard to do anything else wrong.
And one or two anxious looks around the place after a 4x200 freestyle on a takeover.
Well, look at that. Lane 3, West Lothian disqualification, but that junior time, 8:14.92, top of the heap. Wonderful record. And the victory in Heat 1, 8:14. 8:22 and 8:23 for second and third place.
And Andy Figgins and the rest of the South Lanarkshire team coaches will be delighted with that performance, and of course makes South Lanarkshire the Scottish Junior champions as well.
So the results staying on the board as all the teams move off the end of the pool, letting the Heat 2 teams. We've got a full lineup for the second heat. 8:14 the target. In 0, South Lanark A. In 2, in lane 1, Warnder B team. In lane 2, Coast A team. In 3, City of Glasgow A team. In 4, Edinburgh University A team. In 5, the Warnder A team. Then in 6, Stirling A team. 7 is Dumfries A. Perth City in lane 8. And City of Glasgow B team in lane 9.
And I think this will be about trying to get a little bit of a lead over the City of Glasgow A team, and making sure you've got a big enough gap with Robbie Rennick going on the last leg for City of Glasgow. And we all know what he can do in this particular event. An Olympic finalist, the 145.9 best. So I think that's what it's about. And,
he'll be hoping he doesn't have to do a 1:45.9 tonight, I'm
well,
sure.
To be fair, I'd be delighted if he was going 1:45.9 tonight. But it looks like an early lead there for Edinburgh University. Matt Parks.
Edinburgh University team then, a strong lead out from Matthew Parks in lane 4. Yeah, we apologise. We're at the rear of the event, but it wasn't the rear of the month competition from the officials there. That's just an accidental shot. But you never know. So business end, the last swim of the day 2 finals. The men's 4x2 heat number 2, 8:14, the fastest time from South Lanark Junior. Look at that start there in lane number 2. Who is that?
That looks
Andrew
like
McGovern.
Andrew McGovern.
You said his skills were better. Well, look at that. I think he splashed the spectator up there in the top row on the opposite balcony.
I was being specific about his backstroke skills. But he's certainly putting his setting his stall out, as you would say, on this first 100 of his
we have to raise that, though, as a learning point, don't we? That it's dangerous to just go out there, hell for leather on the first 50. Especially if you're trying to manoeuvre your team into a position, and you know that if you come in hard at the end, that's going to be a real help for the team.
Yeah, and
you can't help the excitement.
No, you can't, and sometimes the adrenaline takes you away with it all, you know, and you can't help yourself. But you have to, I think, stay controlled and know how to swim the race best as an individual within the team context as well.
Well, at the moment, City of Glasgow putting pressure on Robbie Rennick. In lane 5, the Warrender team. Daniel Lim doing the job there. He came out of the 50. Well, no, he did the 50 and warmed up for this. In lane 4, Edinburgh University, Cameron Smith, just a little bit away from Smith in 4, sorry. Just bringing the team home for the 3rd leg swimmer, and you can see there it's a tired Andrew McGovern coming in there, bit floppy on the arms, but it's been a hard session. Good takeover, nice and safe there in lane 5. James Black in for Warrender. So at the moment, Edinburgh University's Jack Holroyd leading this second heat.
Indeed, and as you were saying, Andrew McGovern just paying the price a little bit there for taking it out with Warrender coming through. Daniel Lim on that last leg, just coming through nicely in the last 50. He controlled his pace at the start and managed to bring his team into 2nd place. James Black, now the 17-year-old, he's taken up that one there, and he's looking pretty strong, but it's Edinburgh University that are up front, Jack Holroyd, and he looked pretty controlled at the start. As well, and a big lead now, probably around 10 metres back to James Black there, and Ian Porteous there, City of Glasgow, picking up on the coast swimmer.
Yeah, they've put the back half strength into their team, Glasgow. We've got Callum Fowler for City of Aberdeen, but just every stroke Porteous is moving Glasgow into 3rd, cutting down the distance to 2nd place, and that's in lane 5. James Black of Warrender, he's under pressure now from the Porteous swim. Edinburgh University, Jack Holroyd doing the business, ready to hand over to James Thompson, the 24-year-old anchor swimmer. He's already up, ready for the takeover.
And I think, Drew, that gap will just be too much for Robbie Rennick to pick up. I think, but it's James Thompson going in for Edinburgh University next, probably more renowned these days for the 50s and the 100s, that kind of event. But I think that's probably just enough to get him through, but I would imagine that Robbie will pick him up and be pretty close towards the back end.
Well, let's see what happens. Edinburgh, Warner, City of Glasgow. That's the gold, silver and bronze medal position from this 4x200. Rennick in. You see the tempo up, moving from the 400. Long, strong stroke now to a different tempo on the 200. Already catching Fabian Whitbread of Warner, doing his best to hold off the Olympian. And they're cutting the lead down of Edinburgh University, but as Ali said, I think it's just a step too far. So Thompson will get a look at the Summers coming at him as he makes the turn and know exactly what kind of effort required. City of Glasgow through to silver medal position after the 100.
And I think that
every stroke, this could be a dramatic finish as Rennick realises what is on offer here. A tremendous finish. The 50 and 100 man is under pressure. Rennick coming from 3rd place.
And the gap was 5 metres, but it's now down to 3 metres. And absolutely tremendous.
This looks like Rennick could take it. A dramatic finish to the 4x2. Thompson doing his best to find something in the tank. The kick goes in. Rennick, tired from the effort, tired from the training, tired from preparing for the World Championships trial. Stroke for stroke, the Olympian, the hunger, the competitive spirit, and the talent and excellence of Rennick puts Glasgow into gold, gives Rennick an amazing dramatic finish on the end of day 2. Glasgow, Edinburgh University, and the Warner swim just taken out by Stephen Milne's wonderful anchor leg in 7:50.32 time to the Perth City. 7:50.81 to Whitbread for Warner, and just snicked at the end by Stephen Milne. What a disappointment for Warner. What a great swim from Rennick.
It was a lovely swim there from Robbie Rennick. And I think he knew just after the 100 mark when he picked up those early meters and felt pretty comfortable. And
we're just waiting on all the information coming in because we've got one team to finish. The South Lanark team, the A team, the juniors did well. The South Lanark A team suffering because the juniors had all the talented Summers in there. Clap for the finish. Results confirmed. Glasgow 7:46.36, a wonderful split from Rennick, and it gave the crowd something to cheer and shout about. Wonderful drama there. It's a Hollywood moment in the day 2 finals. Edinburgh University 2nd place, 7:47.2, and Perth City just nicking in 7:50.32. The bronze medal taking Warner into 4th place. Already South Lanark juniors taking the junior title.
And Robbie Rennick all smiles there. I think he enjoyed that one. He does love to swim the relays. Taking part in the Scottish swimming relay strategy a couple of weeks back ago, and at the Easter Street Grand Prix, pulling together a range of swimmers together to try and break national records. Robbie Rennick, Hannah Miley, Michael Jameson, Craig Benson, all those guys being part of those relays with a range of the youngsters as well, and all bar one of the records went. It's fantastic. He loves it, and it's great to see the teams coming together.
Lane 2 then, a disqualification in that for the City of Aberdeen. Summers, a little disappointment there as the results were still on the board and held. They'll be confirmed in just in a moment. So as the teams quickly do a quick dry down and get their team uniforms on, ready for a quick presentation as well, as you'd expect, the pool empties slowly. It'd be nice if they held back and gave the applause and support and congratulations to the teams. However, that is not the way, because it competes with what I said earlier about food and rest. some summers, of course, having to travel. Hannah Miley, for example, travelling back to Cumbernauld each day, and that takes a little chunk of the rest out. Remember, they've got to eat. So the presentation's being made by Ron Taylor, past president. Again, a long history of contribution to the sport. Ron Taylor, a team manager in my time at Scottish Swimming, and a number of wonderful trips. I remember a very special one in training camp in Tenerife for the 82 Commonwealths, where we arrived in Scottish organisation at midnight on New Year's Eve. Ron pulled out the bottle of whiskey and made us all very happy, at least the team staff. The Summers were sent straight to bed, of course.
Changed days now, no bottles of whiskies on.
You were offering one early to Danny McGowan. So the bronze medal going to Perth City, snicking that. The quartet of Hunter, Simpson, Rivers and Stephen Milne. The silver medal to Edinburgh University, Matthew Parks, Cameron Smith, Jack Holroyd, James Thompson. And the City of Glasgow victors, Callum McGregor, Johnson Shearer, Ian Porteous, Robbie Rennick with that fantastic anchor leg swim. A dramatic development of the team place from third through to gold medal, and Ron giving the gold medals to that victorious squad. You know, Ron Taylor is 80 years of age next month, and following rugby, and his grandson who's out in South Africa with the Scottish rugby squad. So that's how things change in life, of course, but a great servant and still a great follower of swimming, as the South Lanark team, the junior team of Cameron Park, 16, Jack Elby, 16, Ewan McComish, the younger of the McComish family, and Angus Barr, the Scottish junior 4x200 champions in 2013, with a new club record.
A new Scottish junior club record, yeah.
Great finish to the day programme, really, as the Summers come off the podium and, well, complete their swim downs, their rest, and all the different things that have to happen before today.
And just before we start to wrap up there, our couple of nice tweets coming through here as well. We've got Ewan, our pal Ewan Cameron. He's now in a taxi watching the swimming on his iPhone, live on the phone, and Lee McClevy out in a tent on a Duke of Edinburgh expedition, watching the swimming on her iPhone. So watching from all over.
Shouldn't have that iPad in his pack, it's too heavy. So thank you very much for joining us again on day 2 finals. A wonderful programme on day 1, day 2. It's the weekend, we might have a bigger crowd. We'd like to thank you for joining us at the Scottish Gash National Open Championships. Keep the tweets coming in. That was Ali reporting the latest interesting ones. Your hashtag SGN13 Live, 13 Live. And from Quipu TV's live coverage, this is Drew Gordon. I've covered day 1 and 2. You'll get a different pairing to give you variety for day 3 and 4. I've enjoyed it immensely. Hope you have too. Thank you for being with us, and a special thanks to Ali White for that tremendous detailed inside comment on the background and the programming of the Summers. Thanks, Ali, from me especially, but also on behalf of our listeners and viewers. So from the Tollcross International Swim Centre, do join us tomorrow with an 9:15 start, and we'll look forward to your company. Thanks very much. Bye from me. Bye from us.
British Gas Swim Britain Challenge is a great way to get the whole nation involved, be more healthy, be more active.
It's a giant relay race. We need teams of 4, so hopefully lots of people can get involved. Swim Britain are providing training sessions. This will encourage people to see the benefits of improvements.
Swim Britain will really help me break away from my busy schedule, just get away from everything.
That element of teamwork and training and a group is great fun. You know, anyone can swim no matter what your kind of fitness or sporting background.
That's what's brilliant about this, is that it is a team event. It just makes it so much more fun. You can all cheer each other, support each other on.
I want to take part in Swim Britain because I want to get fitter, lose some weight and make a permanent change to my exercise routine.
So make sure you sign up to this amazing challenge. You never know, I could be on your team.
Take a drink at the ocean and treading water there before a drown. Let's dive, I wanna dive to the bottom of the ocean. I took a ride, I wouldn't go there without you. Let's take a ride, we'll take a ride, I wouldn't leave here without you. I am a mountain, I am the sea. You can't take that away from me. I am a mountain, I am the sea. You can't take that away from me. 'Cause you tear us apart with all the things you don't like. You can't understand that I won't leave till we're finished here. And then you'll find
I'm Catherine Granger and I'm a champion in my life, and I back the bid for Glasgow to host the 2018 Youth Olympic Games.
Hi, I'm Robbie Rennick. I'm Commonwealth champion. I'm supporting Glasgow's bid for the 2018 Youth Olympic Games.
I'm Michael Jameson, I'm a champion in my life and I support Glasgow's bid to host the Youth Olympic Games in 2018.
Hi, I'm Neil Fahey, I'm a Paralympic champion, and I'm a champion in my life and I'm backing Glasgow 2018.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and I'm a champion in my lifetime and I'm supporting the Glasgow 2018 Youth Olympic bid.
I am the sea.